Hi, and welcome to the web, discovering the good, the bad, and ugly. I'm Scotty Zollers. I'm the Director of Library Services at Labette Community College. So, the web, the good, the bad, the ugly. Everything is correct and factual information on the internet, right? Well, how do I know? How can I make sure what I found is legitimate? Hopefully, with this workshop, webinar, we will be able to find that out. So, think about it. If you have something of value, would you just give it away? Information has value. So when you're looking at it on the internet, the information that is out there on the internet has value, supposedly. So what am I possibly getting into when I look at things on the internet? Well, there's the good. Some government and public agencies use the web as a vehicle to make the information they provide freely available. There is a lot of government documents out there on the web right now available for free. And the same way with public agencies. These are good information that's available to you. Educational institutions are now, and some publishing companies are now getting on the bandwagon and they're publishing research that was done using public or government funds. This is called the open access movement, where people that have received money to do research are now required by many places, especially educational institutions, to provide the research that they get from using those funds in an open access forum to where everybody can have access to that. And those are available on the internet. Some scholars are not waiting for educational institutions or publishing companies, and they are publishing it themselves to publish their scholarly works. However, there's also the bad and the ugly. Some web pages are just a way to get you to order something so that they can get your credit card information and other information, which could lead to identity theft. There's also individuals with particular views that the only way they can get their views across is by using the web. Anybody can say anything they want to say out on the web. Also, the web is being used more and more for class projects. So, it's not unusual when you're doing a keyword search to come across a term paper or a webinar that somebody has done for a class. Be careful. Using this information and not using it appropriately could lead to plagiarism, which is using other people's works as your own. Be very, very careful with this. And also, this is like taking a classmate's word about a project and saying that that person that is the same as you is a authority on the subject that you're actually looking for information on too. So, what are some of the things I need to think about when I look at the web? Not everything that you think is supposed to be on the web is out there in the first place. And then some things that you think should be out there on the web and available for you, you're going to find out in a few clicks are not free. Also, most of the time when you do a search on the internet, you're using a keyword search and you are going to come up with humongous amounts of sites and hits. A lot of those are going to be ads. A lot of those are going to not fit anything about what you're actually looking for. And you have to look at those hit lists, those links, and you have to evaluate them for the quality. So how do I do that? Well, first off, don't let the web be your only source. Look for other sources before you get to the web. Don't let the web be your first source. Look for stuff before you get to the web to back that up. And in case I haven't said it enough, get some background information before you search on the internet. This will give you some information, some languages, some names, so that you can use that information to check to see if what you're finding is actually legitimate. So how do I know what I found is actually legitimate? Well, one of the best ways is to find the author, the organization, the creator of the content. Check and see, has that author or organization come up in your background research, which you've already done now, to see if that is legitimate. Now, to do that, you may have to look at the URL, which is up in the line at the top of the page of your web page, and you'll see these slash marks, and you may have to keep backing up on your slash marks until you find who the actual author or creator of that content is. Then look at the items on the website. Look at the website itself. Is the language appropriate for the subject? You actually have some keywords now because you have done your background work on this. Is it arranged logically? Do you look at this and get lost trying to read it? Is there evidence supporting the claims that are being made in this? What about the spelling and grammar? And is there references at the end and within the web pages? Then ask your questions. Why is the author connected to this website? Does the author have a vested interest in the ideas that he's saying on this website? If so, look out for bias. Bias is looking at only one side of a story. Or is the author simply sharing information that he has found, aka another student like you who is sharing his information out on the web? Look for that. And then use your gut and the background information that you have gathered. Does it make sense? Does it sound right? Are the ideas backed up by evidence? And then, just because it looks and tastes like a banana doesn't necessarily mean it's a banana. Sites cannot have all the things that we looked for and still be legitimate. Sites can have all the things and still not be legitimate. So use what you know, and if in doubt, still ask someone who knows more than you do if this is legitimate. So, wrapping things up, the World Wide Web is a research tool just like books and magazines and periodical databases and everything else that you use. Use it like it's supposed to be used. You don't use a screwdriver as a hammer. You don't use a spatula, a rubber spatula, to turn pancakes. Use it like it's supposed to be used and use it with care. If you have any further questions, contact me at the email set there, or you can phone me direct at my office at the numbers there. Thank you, and good luck with your search.